exactly what you want to see. Let's run this puppy in. Score a touchdown and tie this game. Life, run for your life, touchdown on one play. Worked on this in practice. Touchdown. It's up to Kelvin Benjamin. This is all you, buddy. Kelvin Benjamin for a touchdown. Oh, he toasted his man. Holmes toasted his man. Spin move. Oh! Oh! What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the video here on the Water Juice channel, and welcome to some more recap of Thursday Night Football. But today's episode is a little bit more special because instead of one Thursday Night Football game, we had three. Because if you were living under a rock, or you're Canadian, or you're not American, yesterday was Thanksgiving. And before we start talking about the football games, I just want to say I hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving. A safe Thanksgiving, good food, good family, just enjoying time with your family and your loved ones. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I personally had a pretty great Thanksgiving. So with all that being said, let's get into these football games because we've got three to talk about. So the first one I won't spend much time on because it was gross. Bears and Lions were the noon game, or like the 12:30 game, whenever they started. I don't even know. Maybe it was 1. I don't even know when they started. Nobody cares when they started because it was a gross game. The Bears win the game on a field goal with like 1 second left. They were at the 20. It was a 28-yard field goal to win the game. Cairo Santos, and I think the score was like 15-13. No, it was. Was it 14-13? Might have been no. It was 16. It was 16-14. Yes, 16-14. I'm pretty sure is the final score. But that doesn't matter because this game is gross. These two teams, I hope the NFL realized when they watched this game that maybe they should start to move away from these older traditions of having the Lions, the Cowboys, the Bears, all these teams that play on Thanksgiving every year. Maybe when there's years where these certain teams aren't really playing up to their best football at the time Thanksgiving comes around, maybe you flex that game out and you make a quick call and have a couple good teams come and play, because what we got on Thursday yesterday was not a good football game. It was just not. Andy Dalton, I mean, he's at this point, what do we say? I've said everything. Andy Dalton's not a good quarterback. He's at most a good backup. Jared Goff is at most a good backup. The offenses for both teams suck so bad. The offensive line for the Bears is just unbelievably bad. I don't know how any of those guys have jobs. The defense for Chicago was actually kind of decent, but the Lions' defense is bad. Their secondary's bad. Their linebackers are bad. Their defensive line's bad. Their whole team's bad. Their coach is dumb and bad. It's just a whole bad organization right now. And the Lions continue to find new ways to lose. They just keep losing games, and it's just because they're so bad. They're poorly coached. They're poorly quarterbacked, and they are just a bad football team. On the Bears side of things, yeah, Justin Fields was out, and that probably hurt them on offense a little bit. Obviously, it hurt them on offense because Justin Fields is a lot better than Andy Dalton. But even with Andy Dalton made the playoffs like 5 straight years with the Bengals. So, I mean, he's proven that he can at least win football games in the National Football League. But what he did on Thursday was it wasn't good. It just wasn't good. So the Bears win. Lions continue to lose. They still have no wins on the season. I think they're now 0-10-1. They should be 0-11, but they tied with the Steelers, who also suck. So I don't know. I don't know what else to say about that game. The second game on the schedule was Dallas and Las Vegas, the Raiders. And that game went into overtime. That was actually a good game. Now, the one thing that hinders this game, and the little asterisk by this game, is the amount of flags that were thrown in this game. And not just the amount of flags, but the reason behind the flag throwing. Even Joe Buck and Troy Aikman were questioning some of the calls in this game. Or maybe it was Tony Romo. Whoever was on the call. I think it might have been Tony Romo that was on the call. Even Tony Romo was questioning the calls like when you have the announcers questioning your calls in the field more than they should, like more than 50% of the time, more than 75% of the time, then you probably should figure out what a holding call is. You probably should figure out what a DPI is. You probably should figure out what an OPI is, or a holding, or a face mask call, or anything like that. You should probably, or an offsides penalty. You should probably figure out what you're going to call before you call it, so that it doesn't cost the game. Now, I know the Cowboys are really beat up. Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb didn't play in this game. Dak hasn't looked really that good since those guys have been out, and that's understandable. Their defense is kind of struggling a little bit, but their offense always puts up a lot of points, even without those guys. But the Raiders win in overtime on a field goal. And this begs the question, are the Cowboys in a little bit of free fall? Because they've gone 1-3, I think, over the past 4 games, and they are just kind of struggling. Yeah, like I said, they are hurt, they're beat up, they're injured, they're struggling. This is the tough part of the season, and it sucks that they're coming down with all these injuries and all these situations. But I mean, you still got to try and win these games, and I know they are trying to. Obviously, they're trying to win these games, but it's just I don't know really what to say about the Cowboys. I don't know. I think they're a really good team, but if they can't stay healthy, they're not going to go very far, because as good as that offensive line is, it can't protect Dak forever. And if he's throwing to Noah Brown and Cedric Wilson, no offense to those guys, I love Noah Brown, he's a former Buckeye, but if he's throwing to those guys instead of Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, then I mean, it's totally different situation. So Raiders get a much needed victory, though. They needed to get this W huge, because they need to keep up with the Chiefs if they want to make the playoffs as a wild card team, or maybe even catch the Chiefs and take the division. I mean, that's probably not going to happen. The Chiefs, I think, are finding their stride, but I mean, the Raiders needed this win, so it was a huge win. Sucks for the Cowboys. I don't think they're necessarily like going to just completely go into free fall. I think they'll get some more wins, especially because CeeDee Lamb probably going to be pretty healthy here in a couple weeks, and I think Amari Cooper, because he was on the protocol list, so I think he is coming back after this game, so he should be back at least. I know he's unvaccinated, but I think he should be back. So they'll get those guys back, and then their offense will look much better. It's just a matter of these refs figuring out these calls. So the third and final game of the night of Thanksgiving Thursday Night Football was the Buffalo Bills and the New Orleans Saints. Now, this game looked a little weird in the beginning. The Bills kind of struggled, which we've seen over the past couple months. The Bills offense kind of struggles. Like, I don't know if Josh Allen's not really the guy that we all thought he was, or maybe it's just taking him a little bit of time to get back into the groove or something. I don't know what's going on, but their offense feels kind of sluggish. Josh Allen's making some weird decisions, some bad decisions, some decisions that he doesn't usually make, and their defense really hasn't been as good as it was billed to be in the preseason. And on the Saints' hand, they're a decent team if they can get Alvin Kamara back healthy, and if they didn't have Trevor Siemian as their quarterback. I feel like they would be a really good team. Not a really good team. I feel like they would be a wild card contender, because I like that defense. The defense is pretty good. Not yesterday, but the defense is pretty good, and their offense is good with Kamara in the game. I mean, it runs through Kamara, but it's still a good offense. But it's Trevor Siemian. Trevor Siemian's a bad quarterback. He's at best a third string quarterback, in my opinion, and yet they got him out there starting, and it's just not going well. Sean Payton's trying, but it's just not going well. So Saints get blown out by the Buffalo Bills. Is this a momentum builder for the Bills? Probably. It helps them in case the Patriots lose on Sunday, because then they would get back the division in the AFC. So, I mean, I don't really fear the Bills at this point. Like, at the beginning of the season, yeah, I was scared of the Bills because I didn't know what this Patriots team was going to be, and at least we all thought we knew what the Bills were going to be. But, I mean, the Bills have lost some pretty surprising games this season. Josh Allen hasn't really looked good for about a month. So, and the Patriots got 2 games against the Bills coming up pretty quickly. So, I'm feeling more and more confident that this Patriots defense, especially the way that they've been playing the past, 3 weeks, I am feeling really, really, really confident that this Patriots team can manage Josh Allen in this offense and maybe sneak out a win or two against them. So, I'm feeling more confident about that. The Bills are struggling. They did get a much-needed win against the Saints, who are a bad team with Trevor Siemian at quarterback. They wouldn't be much better if they had Taysom Hill playing quarterback, but I mean, hey, it is what it is. And I still think the Bills struggled, though. I mean, they were playing a bad Saints team, and they did blow them out, but they looked a little sluggish, which is something we should keep an eye out on as we get into the big meat and potatoes of the season. So that is my coverage of the 3 Thursday Night Football games on Thanksgiving Day/night. I hope you guys enjoyed your Thanksgiving. Once again, I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving with family and friends and loved ones. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video as well. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. We love to have you. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.